It's time again for the Science Bowl.
Zoo Parade for 5. What big teeth the hippo has are actually a pair of these. Science Potpourri for 10. Would a snake most likely eat every day? Every week, Dateline Science for 10. Why are some elephants wearing necklaces these days? Green things for 15.
And now, here's your host, Mr. Z himself, Dave Zarin.
Thank you and welcome to this special edition of Science Bowl. The two teams you're about to meet are playing for the chance to become the last of the 4 semifinalists in this year's middle school competition. Let's meet them right now. First from Bernjamin Foulois Academy, say hello to Daquan Bowman, Imari Piles, and Nasir Phillips. And from Martin Luther King Jr. Middle School, please say hello to Zach Reed, Liam Greaves, and Zachary Landau. And now here are the categories of questions we use on the Science Bowl.
Okay, Mr. Z, here's today's categories. Green things, questions about plants and all things green and growing. Zoo Parade, a Noah's Ark of questions about animals. Body systems, we'll see how much you know about yourself, about things like breathing and growing and digesting your food. Let's get physical. Questions that test your knowledge of physics and chemistry, earth science and space science. Then there's Science Potpourri. Here's a grab bag of science questions, everything from air pollution to the kitchen sink. And finally, Dateline Science. We'll ask you about science history and science in the news.
Here on Science Bowl, our game board reflects question difficulty. The easier questions are on the left, worth 5 and 10 points. The tougher ones, worth 15, 20, and ultimately 25. Both of our teams start out at 50 points. No penalties ever for incorrect answers. At the end of the 2 rounds, we will have our 4th semifinalist, joining Stephen Decatur and Hyattsville and Samuel Ogle. Bernjamin Foulois, you've never been in the Final Four. Martin Luther King, you've been there before. We've got a lot of talent up here. Congratulations for having made it this far in our competition, guys. You're all tremendous players. Let's have a good game. We go alphabetically B before M. Before we do that, let's check those buzzers, make sure they work. Imari, would you try yours? That looks and sounds good. Liam, would you do the same for me? Thank you. All right. Are we ready? Yes. Let's do this thing. All right. B before M. So Bernjamin Foulois and Imari start the game.
Zoo Parade for 15.
Zoo Parade for 15 points. Teams, look at the monitor, please, in the studio as we start out our game today. This poor ant has lost its head. It seems that a kind of Trojan fly laid its egg on the head of this fire ant. The developing larvae then chopped off the head, and the larvae emerged as an adult fly. This is not a symbiotic relationship. Martin Luther King.
Parasite.
It is indeed a parasitic one. Yes, indeed, for 15 points. Go, Green.
Body systems for 15, please.
Body systems for 15 points. Teams, your question is as follows. The Emperor of All Maladies is the title of a book that has been on the bestseller list for the past 2 years. It is all about what disease that is typically treated with radiation and chemotherapy. Martin Luther King.
Cancer?
Cancer is the Emperor of All Maladies. Indeed it is. Yes, good. Green. Green things, 15 points. Teams, what same word means to begin to flourish and the opening of petals? Martin Luther King.
Bloom.
That's correct. Liam, choose again.
Let's get physical for 15, please.
Let's get physical for 15. Teams, your question is all about kitty litter. Some people say that carbon absorbs better amounts of odor, but others say it is NaHCO3. Martin Luther King.
Baking soda?
Baking soda, the better absorbent. Absolutely right. The jury is still out. We'll let Kitty Cat decide. Go, Green.
Science Potpourri for 15, please.
Potpourri for 15 points. Teams, what same word means that vast, dispersed amount of computer data out there and those puffy white things we see up in the sky? Martin Luther King.
Cloud.
The cloud. Yes, the cloud is now what everyone talks about in terms of a data source. Try again, Green.
Dateline Science for 15, please.
Dateline for 15 points. Teams, there's a new book out by the late author Michael Crichton, who wrote Jurassic Park. It's about tiny things that can get into your brain. The title is this prefix that means tiny. Martin Luther King.
Micro.
Micro is the name of the book. Absolutely right. Good. Go. All the 15 points are gone. Where next?
Green things for 10, please.
Green things for 10. Teams, your question is as follows. Teams, most little kids hate to eat these smelly, Imari.
Brussels sprout?
Very good try. Most little kids, Martin Luther King, hate to eat these smelly little vegetables, but they like to play with them because they look like little trees.
Broccoli.
Broccoli is right. Yes, good comeback. Nice try there, Amari. Brussels sprouts in the same ilk. Go green.
Body systems for 10, please.
Body systems, 10 points. Teams, your question is as follows. The only way to get red hair to become a carrot top is to get 2 copies of a recessive what on chromosome? Martin Luther King.
Gene.
A gene on chromosome number 16. You need 2 recessive genes to get red hair. Good. Go green.
Zoo parade for 10, please.
Zoo parade for 10 points. Teams, this is disgusting. There are some species of frog that live their entire lives and all they eat are other members of the same Martin Luther King.
Cannibalism.
They're cannibals. They eat only other frogs, their own kind. Ew. Okay. Martin Luther King.
Let's get physical for 10, please.
Get physical for 10 points, teams. One of the reasons why America wants to go to Mars is possibly to mine this second lightest of all gases that is in short supply here on Earth. All right, what is this second lightest of all gases, Bernjamin Foulois?
I'd like to pass this to Nasir.
Nasir, second lightest.
Oxygen?
Not oxygen. Good try. Good try. Martin Luther King, second lightest of all gases. In short supply here on Earth, maybe we can supplement our supply by mining it on Mars.
Hydrogen.
Helium. Helium is in short supply. You'd never know it looking at the Macy's Thanksgiving Day Parade, however, as SpongeBob came down Fifth Avenue. Okay, go again, green.
Science potpourri for 10, please.
Potpourri for 10 points. Teams, even if they did not do well in this science class in high school, Tony Hawk and other skateboarders have an inherent understanding of what branch of science. Martin Luther King.
Physics.
Physics, absolutely right. They know how to bank and curve and what to do so that they don't tip over. Good. Thank you, Zach. Go. Green.
Green things for 20, please.
Green things for 20 points, teams. A banana plant is neither a tree nor a shrub. It's an herb. Bernjamin Foulois.
Berry?
It's not a berry. It's a good try. A banana plant is neither a tree nor a shrub. It is actually an herb because its stem is not what?
Edible.
It's not woody. It's not woody. So a woody stem or a woody trunk is required for a plant to be considered a tree or a shrub. No points that time. Still with green. Do we have my light here, judges, by the way? All right, the buzzer has sounded, and at the end of the first round, Bernjamin Foulois, they're just getting their guns ready. They're going to get them in the second half. They're at 50 points. Martin Luther King, quick lead, 180. We'll be back with this important game in just a moment. Don't you go away.
Diet and exercise are never easy. Then again, neither is dying. Sadly, type 2 diabetes, heart disease, and stroke kill nearly 1 million people a year. Most of these deaths could be prevented. Please, talk to your doctor about your risk for diabetes and heart disease. And if your doctor recommends lifestyle changes or medication, listen. The reason so many die is because not enough are willing to change. You can stop it, starting right now. It's your life. Listen to your doctor. Eat better. Get moving.
I always thought being a good mother meant raising my baby myself. But when I got pregnant, I realized I wasn't ready to be a parent. So I did something I thought I could never do. I chose adoption. It was really hard, but I know my baby is with a loving family and has a very bright future.
Sometimes choosing adoption is being a good mother. Visit us at ichooseadoption.org.
Welcome back to Science Bowl. Thanks for joining us today. 6 wonderful young people over here, talented and good sportsmen. We love having you all here. Bernjamin Foulois, you've made it here, almost to the finals, your very first year in competition. How'd you do it, Imari? How'd you do it? How'd you get so good?
I don't know.
I know that you've been practicing. I know you've watched former programs. I know you go over questions at school, and it all pays off. I know your score isn't showing it right now, but you're going to do fine in the second half here. Tell me about your Performing Arts Academy. What kinds of creative arts do you have?
Well, we have chorus, dancing, drama, art, media production, and they all... Oh, and we have orchestra and band.
Right. So it's a happening place. There's always creativity down there. And you are a singer.
Yes.
Yeah. Where have you sung before?
The Kennedy Center.
Well, that's almost the top. Where do you go from there? I mean, that's like the peak. What kind of singer are you? What kinds of songs do you sing?
Well, right now, since I'm in chorus, I'm doing a lot of classical and gospel. But I like any kind that I can try.
You've got great stage presence, and I can see you up there performing. You're going to do well, whatever you decide. You're a good captain, too.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Nasir, nice to have you here. You have so much energy. It looks like you couldn't wait to be here today. How did you prepare?
Practice.
Practice, practice, practice. That's how you get to be good. And I know in your first game you played so well, and you're getting used to the other team because they've got more experience. You're going to do fine in the second half here. Tell us what you want to do someday, Nasir.
Produce music, or I'll be a chef.
Or a chef, yeah. And all of you have culinary talents over here. We're all coming to your house for dinner someday because you did so well in the kitchen. You do so well in the kitchen. What do you like to do in your spare time if you're not cooking?
Draw.
Draw. All right, that's cool. Daquan, what about you? What do you do in your spare time?
I like to read.
You like to read? What kind of books you like?
Books by Vic Riordan.
Very good. All right. And someday you want to be a veterinarian.
Yes.
This young man there's a new movie out about I bought a zoo. This guy doesn't have to buy a zoo. He's got a zoo. You got 2 turtles. You got a dog. You got goldfish. You going to add to that? You got some more species coming in?
Probably want a rhino iguana.
I thought a rhino. Mom's not going to stand for that. A rhino iguana. That's a little more like it. All right. I bet you take good care of them, too. Yeah, you're a good young man. Good to have you here. Martin Luther King, nice to have you guys back. Liam, this is like your 11th time on Science Bowl. We've seen you grow up from elementary school at Bond Mill, and you and your twin sister, and Zach has been there all along the way. Zach Landau and Zach Reed, this is your first time this year, playing really well. Liam, how do you guys prepare for all this?
Well, we read a lot of science in the news. We watch previous Science Bowls to prepare, and we come up with strategies so we can be the best.
Well, you're proving that you are indeed one of the best here today, and you're off to a very strong start. Tell me about what you do in your spare time.
Well, I like to read and listen to music. I like to play soccer and video games also.
Video games, that's wonderful. And someday you're going to?
I'm going to be a bioengineer.
A bioengineer. And I know that's going to happen because you've got the determination and the discipline, the willpower, and the smarts. You got it all. Nice to have you back, young man. We're going to miss you when you're not around anymore. Zachary, nice to have you here. You guys are buddies off camera as well.
Yep.
Yeah, you've grown up together. And where are you headed someday, Zach? I know you want to get a job in science. It's kind of amorphous. Do you have any specific things?
Not yet.
Not yet. Where do you want to go to high school?
Eleanor Roosevelt.
Roosevelt. That would be a good match for you. And then on to college. And are you a reader as well?
Sometimes.
Sometimes? Okay. Zach, do you like to read?
Yes.
Yeah. What do you like?
Pretty much anything I can get my hands on, I'll read.
Well, that's great, because you'll never be bored. If you got a book nearby, you'll never be bored. And of course, you've got a Kindle now. You got them all at your fingertips. Then you've got thousands of books there. What do you want to do someday, Zach?
I will either like to go in the field as a government worker or work as a chemist.
You told me before about government worker. Why are you inspired to do that?
Well, I read a book, IQ, by Roland Smith, and it just really appealed to me. I am learning as much as I can by reading the newspaper, pretty much.
Wow. Well, we need well-informed young people, and to want to go into government is really encouraging. So thanks for that, and good luck to you. Let's get back to our game. King at 180, Bernjamin Foulois, they're still at the starting gate 50. They're going to change that, right, guys? Yes. All right. Let's get back to our game. And green, start us out, Liam.
Zoo parade for 20, please.
Zoo parade for 20 points. Teams, a very unusual question. When one of these celestial events occurs in the southern hemisphere, the people in southern Africa say, Martin Luther King.
The Southern Borealis?
Not the Southern Borealis. Bernjamin Foulois, when one of these celestial events occurs in the southern hemisphere, the people in South Africa say that a crocodile has eaten the sun. What kind of celestial event are we talking about?
A solar eclipse?
Yes, indeed, a solar eclipse. The crocodile ate the sun. Good comeback. Go red.
Zoo parade for 5.
Zoo parade for 5 points. Teams, when color television first started, NBC chose as its symbol this most flamboyant of birds. Martin Luther King.
Peacock?
The NBC peacock in living color. Absolutely right. Go green.
Dateline science for 10, please.
Dateline for 10 points. Teams, history records that Christopher Columbus threw away these leaves that the natives had given to him because he didn't know you had to smoke them. Martin Luther King?
Tobacco?
Yeah, tobacco. He threw it all in the ocean. Not a bad idea. Okay, go green.
Body systems for 20, please.
Body systems, 20 points. Teams, on television, there's a commercial where people crash their cars because there's a character inside the car that plays the role of this spot on your eye where you can see nothing. Bernjamin Foulois.
Your
helper. Okay, Martin Luther King. What's the name of this spot, this place on your eye where you can see nothing that sometimes leads to car accidents?
Blind spot?
The blind spot, that's right, yes. Good, go green.
Let's get physical for 20, please.
It's physical for 20 points. Team's multiple choice question. 3 new chemical elements are now on the periodic table. Each and every one of them ends with the 3 letters. Martin Luther King.
I'll pass it to Zach.
Zach?
Well, the elements are like the unum unium, so I guess the number, Roman values, the, like numerals.
No. No, Bernjamin Foulois, multiple choice question. All of these new elements that are now on the periodic table end in the same 3 letters. Are those letters A-S-E, I-T-E, or I-U-M?
IUM?
IUM, absolutely right, like Copernicum. Oh, so many of those elements end in IUM. Good, red. You're up to 90.
Zoo parade for 25.
Zoo parade, 25, big one in that category. Teams, this is very interesting. Think about it. Maybe you've never thought about this. Why can't arthropods get arthritis? Martin Luther King.
Because they don't have bones?
That's exactly right. They're invertebrates. You can't get arthritis if you don't have bones. We couldn't fool them, judges. We tried. Go green.
Science potpourri for 20, please.
Potpourri for 20 points. Teams, in a new book called Mycophilia, the author talks about this giant superorganism that is made up of this spore-produced giant fungi. Martin Luther King.
Mushroom?
It is a mushroom, yes, indeed. Thought to be literally the largest thing in the world. Covers almost one whole corner of a state. Go green.
Science potpourri for 20, please.
Potpourri for 20 points. That was the 20-point question. Yes? Could you choose another one, please?
Science potpourri for 25, please.
For 25 in that category, yes, indeed. The big one in that category. Teams, Antoine Lavoisier was a famous French scientist. He came up with the law of conservation of matter. But he is better known for having discovered this gas with atomic number 8. Martin Luther King.
Passing to Zach.
Zach?
Oxygen.
Oxygen, yes, the discoverer of oxygen. Good, go green.
Dateline science for 20, please.
Dateline for 20 points. Teams, Walter Reed, whose name is on the hospital here in Washington that they just closed, discovered a cure for what colorfully named fever that is carried by Martin Luther King?
Yellow fever.
Yellow fever, yes, that was running rampant in the Panama Canal when we were building that, and he helped to save so many lives. I think you knew that one, guys. You got to jump faster. Daquan, let's be part of that team there. Help her push that buzzer. Go green.
Green things for 25, please.
Green things for 25. Big one in that category. Teams, tough question. What G-initialed term, which means naked seed, is the group of plants that includes all of the evergreens? Bernjamin Foulois.
May you repeat the question, please?
I cannot.
We like to pass it to Nasir.
Nasir, what you think? Tough question. Martin Luther King, this G initial term that means naked seed includes all of the evergreens.
Blades.
Gymnosperms as opposed to angiosperms. This was a tough one. I told you it was. Try again, green.
Body systems for 25, please.
Body systems for 25 points. Teams, what same word means one of your body's vestigial organs and the extra listings at the end of a book? Bernjamin Foulois.
Epilogue?
Not epilogue. Good try. Remember the category body systems. What vestigial organ is also the extended listings at the end of a book?
Appendix.
An appendix. Absolutely right. You're on the right track, Imari. Go green.
Dateline science for 25, please.
Dateline for 25. Look at the monitor in the studio, please. And you'll see, splish splash, someone's taking a bath. This is a famous Greek. Liam, who might he be?
Archimedes.
He is Archimedes, who came up with the great theory of displacement, knowing that the amount of water displaced equals the weight of the object inside. Good indeed. Go, green.
Let's get physical for 25, please.
Get physical for 25 points. Teams, if you are in a hyperbaric chamber, you are going to get a lot of oxygen because inside that chamber, what physical quantity is very high? Pressure. Pressure. Hyperbaric, a highly pressurized chamber, which means you get more oxygen. Try again, green.
Green things for 5, please.
Green things for 5 points. Teams, as every homeowner with a big lawn knows in the fall, a typical oak tree has 75,000 of these.
Leaves.
Leaves, that's right. You got to rake every single one, plus the neighbors that come in. Go, red. Yes, ma'am.
Let's get physical for 5.
Let's get physical for 5 points. Teams, now that they've found a 4th moon around this extraplanetary body, maybe they'll reverse the banishment and make it a planet again. Martin Luther King?
Pluto.
Pluto, yes, indeed, the poor thing. Go, green.
Body systems for 5, please.
Body systems for 5 points. Teams, a survey confirms what we all suspected, that when relationships go sour, more women than men suffer from a broken what? Martin Luther King?
Heart.
Heart is right. Yes, good. Go.
Potpourri for 5, please.
Potpourri for 5 points. Teams, in Happy Feet, Mumble is choreophobic, but in real life, bees do this. Liam?
Dance.
They dance, that's right. Not with the stars, but they dance. Last question of the game, 5 points under Dateline. Recently, policemen sprayed this onto people. Imari.
Tear gas.
Give me
Pepper
another.
spray. Pepper spray.
Pepper spray is what I want to hear exactly. I like you went out with a flourish and made it to 100 points. We're finished. It looks like Martin Luther King is headed to the semifinals. We'll be back in a moment. Don't you go away.
Across America, service learning is helping students improve their grades and their communities. Service learning makes school exciting by connecting the classroom with community service projects.
Before service learning, I was just an ordinary student causing mischief during class. After service learning started, I got so involved into it, I started paying attention more, picked up my grades.
Okay, very good.
Service learning absolutely drives academic success.
Working together, students solve real problems, build new skills, and apply their knowledge in a whole new way.
The great thing about service learning is it gives you this opportunity to go out into the world and do things hands-on.
Inside the classroom and out, service learning opens new doors and brings learning to life. Service learning can make a difference in your school. Visit Learn and Serve America at learnandserve.gov to find out how.
I knew I needed help paying for college. I've always wanted to be a teacher. I used to make worksheets for my friends to do. No one ever wanted to come over. My guidance counselor told me about federal student aid, and my mom helped me fill out the free application. I got the grants and loans that made school possible. There is a way to pay for school. You just have to find it. My name is Caitlin. I'm going to be a special education teacher. I'm going to live my dream.
For years, scientists have explored remote corners of the Earth, searching for exotic substances that might help prevent cancer. At last, man has discovered a secret place where powerful remedies can actually be found. Medical research shows that a vegetarian diet, rich in fruits, vegetables, and whole grains, can help prevent many types of cancer. Wherever you live, cancer prevention is as close as your grocery store. To learn more, call 866-906-WELL.
Welcome back. We hope you enjoyed today's game. And all of these young people are tremendous students. And even though the score does not reflect it, and I know Bernjamin Foulois, you wanted to get more points. You got a lot of points in my eyes and a lot of those viewers. You are really strong players. We loved having you here. Our final tally today is Bernjamin Foulois 100, Martin Luther King 375, one step closer to maybe a third county championship. You're the fourth of the four semifinalists. Zach and Liam and Zachary, tremendous job today. And our alternates, Aaron and Kyle and Ann Therese, who is giving her twin a nice little pat of good going there just a few moments ago. Miss Butler, thank you for all your wonderful work. We'll see you in the semifinals. And Daquan and Imari and Nasir, let's see those wonderful smiles you guys have. Bria, join in. Miss Thompson, thank you. We want to see you back on Science Bowl. Great start this year. We'll see you next time as well. Bye-bye now.